When anyone talks about Mike Mambre, anyone in government, anyone in business, anyone in the faith-based community, people all say the same thing. What a great person. What a warm person. What a kind person. And we don't have enough of that in any profession today.
A special guy for a special day, and a special proclamation from Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown honoring one of our own. Tonight, we're saying goodbye to a longtime co-worker of WIVB-TV. Our chief news photographer, Mike Mambre Jr., is retiring after 40 years of service with this TV station. Now, to say that Mike has had a stellar career is actually an understatement.
For decades, he's been on the front lines of history, capturing images that have shaped the way we view Western New York and the world. With his award-winning photography talents and laser focus on storytelling, Mike has led us on a visual journey to the past, the present, and in some cases, the future. Tonight, Luke Moretti brings us the story of Mike Mambre, the man behind the lens.
It was a brilliant career that almost never happened.
My plan was to work a few months and get out and do something else. What that something else was, I wasn't positive about, but I knew I didn't like news.
Anyone who knows Mike Mambre Jr. could never imagine the television news business without him.
I don't know anyone who could tell the story the way he did, through his pictures and his editing. It was magnificent.
At the Shays Buffalo, it is the job of projectionist Joe Hecht and his father John before him to make sure the movie is always on the screen.
The people that are good storytellers are the people who do stories that you remember.
This building picks who it wants here.
You recall them today, tomorrow, and in 5 or 10 years because something about the story was different.
Mike is that guy. A news photographer, yes, but so much more.
He puts into his work the sweeteners that you haven't even thought of. If you hand him a script, what you get back is far more than you envision.
This is real life, you know, I'm not trying to be creative so much as I am to capture something real.
From his camera lens to the television screen, it's real, no doubt. Whether Mike is covering some evil manifestation of man or tagging along with ghost hunters for a night.
Please, I need
the images, the presentation on television, the way he weaves together sound, pictures, and words. Mike never disappoints.
Mike Mambre is an artist, and his canvas is the TV screen. And he takes us, all of us, through the lens of his camera and shows us the world in ways that we would never even be aware of.
Former News 4 senior correspondent Rich Newberg traveled the world covering stories. But it was Mike Mambre and his camera capturing the human condition in places like the Persian Gulf. Mike and Rich traveled to Auschwitz with Holocaust survivors.
But it would be different for the Birkenau boys. The lessons of Theresienstadt would help them survive Auschwitz.
As people gathered around a campfire, Mike was looking to convey the emotion, the pain, the profound sense of loss in that moment. And then he saw it through his camera lens.
Well, I saw the intense look on someone's eyes, and from the angle that I chose, I could see also the reflection of fire in their glasses. So, you know, to me that seemed like a natural symbolism of what they're feeling.
That one shot spoke volumes about the story. He almost is invisible with that camera because people somehow trust him. and open up in his presence.
The USS Carl Vinson blends high technology with high excitement. We had to fly on an aircraft carrier while it was in the Pacific Ocean.
It was a hard landing for Mike and Jackie Walker back in 1988.
Some of our equipment smashed when we landed.
But they hit the deck running for a story aboard an aircraft carrier off the coast of San Diego.
That was wild. I didn't know what to expect.
Mike and Jackie had 24 hours to get the story of Western New York sailors.
It's 7 stories high, and trying to capture that story, and that was a fantastic experience.
Mike had to carry that gear up and down everywhere. We were just running into sailors asking, "Are you from Western New York?" It was just such an incredible assignment. In 24 hours, we came out with a totally award-winning series of reports.
I rode on top of a boxcar where I had to fasten the belt to keep from falling off.
When Mike isn't landing on an aircraft carrier in the Pacific, he's been known to hop freight trains.
It was funny because the news director called me and he said, "How'd you like to take a train ride to Cleveland?" And I'm like, "Okay, that sounds all right." But he didn't tell me that we were going to hop on it illegally. And
Mike and a reporter rode the rails to Cleveland to document the plight of the homeless.
And we hid in the engine till we were well out onto the lakeshore, headed for Cleveland.
You learn from these stories about all kinds of people from all walks of life.
Mike's sense of humanity and work ethic, he says, comes from his father, Mike Mambre Sr., a retired News 4 photographer. They're the only father and son team inducted into the Buffalo Broadcasters Hall of Fame.
My father is such a great person, besides being a great photographer, and that helped me to know the right way.
Mike has true humility. He never brags of his accomplishments. He didn't even tell us when he won an Emmy.
Whether it's shooting the big news story overseas with Buffalo connections.
It's going to be a while before a cop is brought back to Buffalo to face charges.
Or following the football in cold stadiums for NFL Films and its national television audience. Maybe it's a rare chance to be up close with a pope. Mike Mambre is a genuine storyteller. Through his pictures, we're all enriched.
He has the eye and the intuition of an artist. He has the passion of a truth seeker, which means he's a great journalist.
He sees things that I don't think you and I know our viewer, wouldn't always see. And the way he edits together, it's a real talent. And the finished product is voila. I mean, it's second to none.
And while Mike's 40-year career at WIVB-TV Channel 4 fades to a new scene in his life, a well-deserved retirement, it's the relationships, the people, he says, he'll miss the most.
I had a blessed and great career. I look back at it as a whole and say I was lucky and to be around in this heyday of television. There's a difference between thinking the job is great, but the job is great, but for different reasons. I find it great because I learned so much about people from it.